I'm going to move this over. I noticed the very annoying clicking sound that was happening yesterday at 1 a.m. Hopefully, it sounds a little bit better now. Thank you guys for being here. Let's give it a bit of time. Let's see who joins. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Happy birthday to Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, and the 10th longest serving Grand Master of United Grand Lodge of England. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about him because today is his birthday and he's 90 years old. Brother Adam, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you hit the like button and the subscribe button. I know you're already subscribed. Hit the like button. Let me know how it's going and what you want to talk about. We're going to give it a bit of time. As always, we're going to see who joins. Let's see. I'm trying to get the information about him, which I cannot seem to find. Here it is. All right, let's give it a bit of time. Let's see who joins. Today we're going to be talking about the Duke of Kent and celebrating his birthday. 90th birthday. He is the 10th longest serving Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England. But for now, let's see who joins. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. As many of you know, you can expect some very special announcements. I'm going to be sending those announcements through MailChimp. So, what I'm hoping is everybody, if you're not signed up for my email blast list, I hope you'll be signed up for it through MailChimp. You can sign up by info@squareandcompass.ca. Why do I like the monarchy so much? I feel like I've always had a traditionalist streak to me. I like traditions, probably one of the reasons I like Freemasonry. I like stability. But in this case, it's not just a monarchy thing. It's more a, yeah, I'm Canadian, that's true. It's more a Masonic thing, particularly the fact that it's the Grand Lodge of England's Grand Master who's a royal. It doesn't have to be the case. It often is, but not always. But yeah, it's just a coincidence, I suppose, in this case. But I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for being here. And I am part of the Commonwealth. That definitely does help. Uh, but there are many people in Canada actually who are not fans of the monarchy, even though we're part of the, um, even though we're part of um, the Commonwealth. It is, and he is 90 years old. I may have to delay a little bit my coming back home to Winnipeg. I'll let you know soon. And also, I'm going to have to figure out how to get you, if I can't get home right away, how to send you your birthday gift with the strike happening currently. I cannot use the postal service. By the way, to anybody else who is signed up to receive a postcard, what I'm going to be doing is actually getting you your items sent. I'm going to the States in a couple days, and their post office is still going strong. So I'm going to use their postal services to mail some items specifically to Patreons in the United States and Australia. Um, Welcome from Indonesia. Thank you for being here. My name is Cameron Adamson. We talk about Freemasonry. So any thoughts you have on it, positive, negative, or neutral, please let me know. I have no idea what shampoo you are referring to, Bill Wildman, but thank you for being here nonetheless. No, because that does not exist, Sam. So I have no advice to you. Other than you are saying nonsense, Sam. Thank you for being here nonetheless. Please hit like and subscribe. Yes, Tree Raji, I am the Duke of Wanker. Well, I think a lot of rage comes from social media and people not understanding how to properly use social media and the benefits of social media, and instead using it for negativity. I think oftentimes, though, that negativity and rage is actually directed towards Jewish people through anti-Semitism. So I would not be nearly as quick to blame Jewish people for this. Where am I from? Canada, Windsor, Ontario. And we're here to chat about Freemasonry. I'm going to talk about the Duke of Kent, his history, his Masonic history, and otherwise. We're going to give it a bit of time. We're just going to wait to see who joins us first. That's right, Canada. Greatest country in the world. And I truly believe that. But thank you, everybody who's joined. By the way, I really do enjoy both my 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. streams. However, the 1 a.m. streams do seem to get more people. I don't know why. Maybe, maybe my audience are night owls the same way I am. Farah, welcome. Thank you for being here. I know things are incredibly rough in Gaza. However, I am happy that it seems like peace may be on the table. I'll wish my best for you. And for your safety. Brother Adam. Well, I always say Canada is the greatest country in the world because we have the greatest neighbors in the world, and I still believe that to be the case. So, Terrifier. I have not, nor has any Mason. Well, I'm sure there's actually been some bad Masons in the world. I have not. Terrifier, please hit like and subscribe. There are not indentured Masons. I'm not sure what that would be. When you say how free are Freemasons, I mean, they are as free, I suppose, as anyone else within their country may or may not be. Right? Free doesn't refer to free as in the sense of freedom from slavery or anything like that. Freedom refers to actually a type of stone or the ability to travel for your work, depending on who you ask. But it has nothing to do with the idea of freedom versus servitude. Except, in the sense, again, of being a Freemason could mean you are free to travel for the purposes of collecting a wage. I am not a soldier, Harry Deonto. I am missing my legs. I don't know if that's why you asked that. For a lot of times, people, especially in the States, will ask me if I lost my legs in combat. I did not. I'm not a soldier. I was born this way. Why all the secrecy? There's not as much secrecy as you think. I'm here talking about it right now, Hawk. There's a couple different reasons for secrecy, and Freemasonry actually used to be much more open than it was. In Europe, a lot of Masons chose to be more secretive about Freemasonry after and during World War II, partially, especially in Europe, as a consequence of Masonic targeting by Nazi Germany, by Hitler, by, in Italy, by Franco. Also, as people lost trust in institutions, many people began to lose trust in Freemasonry, and Freemasons' response was to become more secretive than it had in the past. The other reason, though, why it's not about secrecy, it's about privacy. Hawk. Yoda, hello, thank you for being here. And I've given this example before, but Hawk R, if you have a family recipe, you're going to keep that family recipe private. And the reason you're going to keep it private is not because there's necessarily anything inherently negative or bad about the recipe. Rather, It's a way to maintain the bonds of family between the past and future generations. We in Freemasonry, we don't, we mean, we have rings, like, we have coins. We have coins like this, but that's not what we really pass down. What we really pass down from brother to brother is our ritual. And by maintaining the privacy of those rituals between membership exclusively, it strengthens the bonds of brotherhood between us. Hawk, thank you for being here. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. Same thing uh, with everybody else. Hardianto, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Same thing. Please hit like and subscribe also. When you say what is that, you mean what is Freemasonry? Freemasonry is a fraternal club. A fraternal, it has women's side as well, but a civic group or a social group or a fraternity, some would say, that derived from stonemason guilds. Um, Heartbroken. Hello, man. What's up? So, what do you do here? Well, first of all, I'm very sad that your heart is broken, heartbroken. I hope it's not so broken you can't hit the like and subscribe button. Um, and I really appreciate you being here. We talk about Freemasonry. If the recipe is so good, why not share? Because if we share it, then the danger is, well, if you share it, if it's a family recipe and you share it, then the bonds between the family members will be lessened. If we share it, if we share our private kind of ideas and rituals within Freemasonry, then the bonds of brotherhood are lessened. Um, think about a social club, civic group. It's a very kind of simple way to think about it. Thank you, Heartbroken. So let me know what thoughts you have. Today we're going to talk about the HRH, His Royal Highness, the Duke of Kent, the 10th longest serving Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of England. Fifth degree, says Wes Skilles. Fifth degree is not really usually a degree of which you hear. There is within, Scottish Rite, there's up to 33 degrees. And there is a fifth degree, but it's rare for someone to stop at the fifth degree. I actually don't know if I've ever heard of it. But Indiana has a pretty incredible Masonic building, and Scottish Rite building. Um, I've read parts of the Bible. I'm sad to say I've not read the whole thing, but I want to study it more because we have many Christian Freemasons, and I want to learn more about their faith. I also want to read the Quran and read the Torah, which I understand is the first 5 books. So on my list. Canada, Windsor, Ontario, Canada, heartbroken. Well, born and raised in Winnipeg, but then moved here. Offset guitar. I do not know who Prince Michael is, but welcome, Offset guitar. Yes, Canada. Um, Very proud to be Canadian. Greatest country in the world. Part of it is because you have the greatest neighbors in the world, but that's a whole other thing. Thank you for being here. How about you read, go, why can't this be my job? Cactus Babe. I'm going to call you Cactus. Why can't this be my job? Um, I'm not sure they did. Honestly, Wes, I'm not. A lot of this stuff does not sound Masonic to me. He may have been part of a different order. Again, a fifth degree is rare to have that. Usually you stop at least in Ontario, you'll stop at the 14th degree, the 18th degree, or the 32nd, or you'll go right through to the 32nd. And there is a Masonic funeral service, but it's usually done in public. I'm not sure what you mean by sealing the coffin. Nathan, I'm doing well. My name is Cameron, but I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. Shrine is an independent body of Freemasonry. There may be a fifth degree in Shrine. I don't believe so, but I'm not as conversant in Shrine. Um, Bhagavad Gita. I want to read that because that was a famous, if I recall correctly, that was the book that um, Oh, I can't think of his name now. The gentleman who not invented, but the gentleman who designed the nuclear bomb, when he said, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds," I believe it was the Bhagavad Gita that he was quoting from. Um, so fifth degree is Scottish Rite. But again, I've never heard of anybody calling themselves a fifth degree Mason or even a fifth degree Scottish Rite. Usually you go right to the 14th if you want to be Lodge of Perfection. I mean, maybe they would perform the fifth degree at a funeral service. That's very possible. Um, but I never heard of anybody calling themselves a fifth degree Mason. Um, me, for example, I'm 18th degree Mason. Right? I got my Lodge of Perfection and my um, Rose Croix. So I'm curious. My guess, Wes, is that um, um, my guess is maybe that your grandfather was actually Scottish Rite Mason, and they just mentioned the fifth degree to you at some point. Um, but I could be wrong because fifth degree is, I think it's actually past master, um, or sorry, perfect master degree. Um, Welcome, Jose. Heartbroken. A Mason is a member of a Masonic lodge. I'll have to check more into this. I mean, Wes, I do appreciate you being here. I will, if you want to shoot me off an email, because I don't know everything about Freemasonry, and this may be something of which I'm not aware. Brother Adam, have you ever heard of anybody calling themselves a fifth degree Mason? Like I said, it's usually you go past that on your way to getting the 18th degree. A said hi. Hello, A. So a Mason is a member of a Masonic lodge. A degree relates to their level, if you want to use that term, within Freemasonry. You have an entered apprentice degree, a fellowcraft degree, a master mason degree, and then you have your York Rite and your Scottish Rite um, degrees, which are kind of appendant bodies. But it's, yeah, I would, yeah, Wes, I would need to know more. Again, it's very possible, and especially because you said great grandfather, there may have been a time when brethren would stop at the fifth degree, but I would need to learn more. Mabus, I am not trying to convey any message other than hit the like and subscribe button. I guess what I'm trying to do is promote the ways Freemasonry is promote the ways that Freemasonry is relevant to the communities in which it's located. Sorry, grandfather. Even then, right? That's probably, I'm going to guess, he was a Mason in the 50s and 60s. Two times said hi. Hello, two time. How's it going? Thank you for being here. I'll say it two times. Hello and hello. I want to visit Scotland for the Masonic history. Thank you, IGWE. I appreciate that. I need all the love I can get. Please hit like and subscribe. You don't start simping for Satan at any degree. ANDDRWW. I can't pronounce that. Um, but thank you for being here. Please hit like and subscribe. Why do you believe that we simp for Satan? I'm assuming you've been reading Albert Pike a little bit too much. 42 years old, two time. Not going to say that, Yucatan, but good, nice try. I definitely don't believe Muslims are invading anywhere. I think people are immigrating to different countries. I think the strength of a country is its ability to welcome newcomers and immigrants. And I've got many Muslim friends here in Canada, all good people. And I hope everybody is doing well. As always, the first 20 minutes, I just hang out. Then, the first hour, I just hang out. We're 20 minutes in. The second hour, I talk about my specific topics. Today, I'm going to mention and talk about the United Grand Lodge of England's Grand Master, who's the 10th longest serving Grand Master. Well, I can't make any promises, even that I won't swear Yucatan, because I'm quite known for swearing. So, yes, Pike, and I have eyes and see. Well, what satanic imagery are you referring to? And as for Pike, you need to take Pike with a pretty massive grain of salt. What he says, I mean, he was writing long after Freemasonry had already been established. And he was really writing specifically for the context of the Scottish Rite Southern Masonic jurisdiction out of, I think it was Nebraska, if I recall correctly, not Freemasonry as a whole. And he got a lot of stuff incorrect as well. So, I mean, I think that's part of it, Christina. Albert Pike did us no favors by any means with what he wrote. Um, and again, if you are someone, especially if you are facing challenges in your life, conspiracy and conspiracies can be a very comforting place to, I don't know what the word is, to retreat into, to engage with, might be a better way to put it, to make yourself feel as though you're seeing something no one else is seeing. Um, well, Illuminati was much later than that, brother Adam, when it disbanded. But yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. That's for sure. Um, so what's my craft? My craft is trying to make the world a better place through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. I'm failing pretty, it feels like I'm failing sometimes. It's hard to sometimes look at the news and be positive, but still, nonetheless, my craft is trying to craft a better world through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. And who knows? If I keep trying, maybe I'll be successful. Um, you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and try your best. Well, I'm part of the Masonic Lodge. I'm part of 5 Masonic lodges. One of them actually is in Israel. Um, and with that in mind, I was grateful and happy to see what seems like a potential ceasefire. I understand it's been agreed to, at least in theory. And as again a member of a lodge in Israel, I just hope everybody is safe and the conflict ends and the hostages are released, etc., as soon as possible. Why can't it be check marked to both? Masonic Lodge is a check mark, and Mason Jars is also a check mark. Not exclusively, but yeah, I think we can thank Trump for the ceasefire. It seems like he was a major player in getting it done, or if not, maybe even the major player. So, sure, we can thank Trump for the ceasefire. So it's not percentage based. It's the dues are set at whatever the lodge chooses to set them at. So I'm a member of 5 lodges. My cheapest lodge is $40 American per month. My most expensive lodge is 250 Canadian, so like 200 American per month. It always says a flat rate. I've never seen any lodge set the dues as a percentage of a brother's income. That's an interesting thought, to say you have to pay 20% of your income to the lodge. I'm not sure how it would actually work. To me, I wouldn't want to see that happen because it's too connected to this idea of religion and tithing. And Freemasonry is not a religion; it's a club. So I think a flat rate is the better approach to take. If someone is struggling, they don't get help by feeling placated, which is true. Might you be projecting because your craft involves being involved in holding secrets? Well, I mean, the craft is private. I wouldn't say I feel unique precisely. I mean, the I feel unique because I'm a Freemason in the same way I feel unique because I trained to be a professional wrestler, or I because I'm part of a horror movie fan club. Like, it's a uniqueness born because not everybody is a Freemason, not everybody is a professional wrestler, not everybody is so. But I don't think the uniqueness makes me special. It just makes me unique. Unless you consider all of us special, because all of us have unique qualities, unique memberships, things that make us separate from the majority, which is a good thing, by the way. But I'm not sure what you mean by the idea of placated or struggling. I mean, some people join Freemasonry because they're struggling. I think I did not. I did not join Freemasonry because I was struggling. I felt, if anything, I've struggled more since I've been a Freemason because my work and dedication to the craft is, whenever you're dedicated to something, there's a level of struggle that comes with that. But I don't feel um, like I'm struggling. I guess I'm not sure what you mean, Andrew. Um, yes, the Shriners are Masons. To be a Shriner, you must first be a Mason, a third degree Mason. Seth, can you read my last question? Definitely not, Yucatan. No one wants to see that, I promise. Taco Massacre. I will answer the question if you hit the like and subscribe button. So you have to pay to get into a lodge because lodges have expenses and they need to cover those expenses somehow. Usually, it's this is a rough estimate. Every lodge sets its own kind of fees and rates. As a very rough average, it's usually a one-time payment of $500 American on average, followed by between $100 to $200 per year to actually be a Mason. So you pay the first fee up front, and then you're paying $100 to $200 per year afterwards. It can be more, it can be less. Some lodges I know are as cheap as $40 per year. Um, I mean, it's not because if that was the case, they would ask you, do you have the money to join? If you said yes, they'd let you in. Whether or not you have the money to join is actually the last question they ask you. The first thing they talk to you about is why you want to join, what you think Freemasonry is, your belief in a supreme being, things of that nature. Freemasonry is not a creed, it's not a religion. There are Masonic philosophies, but I wouldn't call it a creed. Yes, we do wear aprons when we meet up. We wear Masonic aprons. If you're a fancy pants officer, you can sometimes get a fancier type of apron and collars in some cases. Taco Massacre, once you confirm you've hit like and subscribe, I will tell you the last time I shit myself. Um, I've never been to Bohemian Grove. No, I've never heard of any lodges charging monthly dues. I know some brethren who are struggling to pay their dues will make a payment plan to pay monthly. Um, well, thank you, Cowboy Baby Yoda, and I appreciate you being here very much. Oh, the Taco Massacre. 2 weeks ago, I pooped myself. So, actually, I think it was 13 days ago, to be precise. Happens to the best of us. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that is what I believe, Andrew, that it's not the exclusive reason why people turn to conspiracies or, believe, for example, Freemasons worship Satan. Sometimes they can just happen to be scrolling on YouTube and come across the wrong video, and the video says Freemasons worship Satan, and then that's what they run with. But even if the person who scrolled and saw the video is not struggling, the person who made the video may be struggling. I guess my point is, I tend to believe at the root of all this is very often a sense of struggle from individuals who are seeking comfort or answers or something in kind of these conspiracy-ish ideas. Um, Thank you, Taco Massacre. Well, time and memorization, especially for the first 3 degrees, right? So there's about a month wait between first and second at minimum. Some people wait longer, some people You can, in some jurisdictions, you need to move up the degrees before 1 year. Um, and oftentimes you have to memorize parts of ritual and then recite it back. And that's called proving. So you say, okay, you're going to prove your degree by reciting this portion of the work. That's why one question we often ask in Freemasonry is, how good are you at memorization? If you're not good, that's okay. It might take you longer to move up the ranks, but that's fine. Um, and obviously, people will also talk to you about, like, do you think you're ready, especially if you're going from fellow craft to master mason? At which point the question becomes, you may have to take an officer chair. You may become very active. How do you feel about that? Can you be an officer? Do you know enough about the craft that you could potentially help mentor others? Well, I mean, I don't worship Satan either, Hadley, so welcome. Thank you for being here. Yes, Alex Jones for shock value. I mean, I believe girls poop, Yucatan, so I don't know where you're hearing that from. I don't believe in conspiracies, actually, as a general rule, except by the most liberal definition. But I think at that point, it ceases to matter, right? So, for example, is it possible that two or more people can make an agreement to keep something secret for the purposes of a criminal enterprise? Or even something positive, like, you're organizing a surprise birthday party for your friend. It's a conspiracy against your friend in some ways, right? But do I believe in conspiracy at the government or international level? I do not. Um, because I think there are too many competing interests for conspiracies to actually exist. Um, the elites, quote unquote elites, that would exist in America will have very different interests than the elites that live in Europe, both as a function of geography, economics, whatever else it might be. And so the idea that they would be able to conspire together against the masses, they'd be conspiring against each other. But at that point, in Europe, the interest of Britain and France are sometimes competing. So I believe that competing interests override any conspiratorial urges within individuals. Thank you, Yucatan. Most people make fun of how I look. They say I have a big nose and a big forehead and ugly teeth. So thank you, Yucatan, for being so nice to me. Kilumi, I don't know what that means, but thank you for being here. I'm assuming that's a biblical verse. Raider Red, I definitely don't agree with you on that one, but you're welcome to your opinions, and thank you for being here. Kilumi, please hit like and subscribe. Um, they do, but they also represent important functions within the lodge, and not every officer either, right? There are some officers that are later, well, that are later additions. I would say, obviously, the Worshipful Master is the most obvious example of someone who reflects King Solomon, literally. There is no Freemason theme song. There should be. I mean, if there was a Freemasons theme song, what would it be? I think that's the question. In fact, I'm going to ask that on YouTube. Everybody can answer. Don't get cocky, Raider Red. Piece of friendly advice from a somewhat political junkie: never get cocky. I remember after Obama's victory, people were saying it was the end of the Republican Party. Republicans came back pretty strong. Then after Trump won, people were saying it was the end of the Democratic Party. Biden came back. Never get cocky, never get overconfident. Baldy, look at this hair. What are you talking about, Muffle Moose? Please hit like and subscribe. Aiden, thank you for being here from the United Kingdom. It is a song. You're absolutely right. Can I share something interesting about the rituals? What do I find interesting about the rituals? The third degree is a later invention. A lot of people think when Freemasonry was formed, all three degrees were already present. For the longest time, well, not the longest time, but for at least 10 years, if I recall correctly, there were two degrees: entered apprentice and fellowcraft. The Master Mason degree was added later. as a way to kind of provide an avenue by which someone could say they were a master and could train others. Um, Solomon's Temple, that's part of it. Um, yes, I'd love to get 33 likes. Um, well, I mean, I believe that there are transgender people that exist. I don't know what you mean by God didn't create them. God created everyone, right? If God created everything, then wouldn't transgenderism be something that God also created? To my understanding, yes. After Lodge, we serve food and drinks, or sometimes before Lodge. More and more Masonic bodies are moving towards serving food before Lodge. And I think personally that's the better approach to take. Um, that's just my opinion. Just, if you have your Masonic meeting at 7:30, having dinner at 6:30 seems to be a more effective way to do things. I'm a member of 5 lodges. I have several I go to regularly. Just last night, I was at Rose Lodge in Windsor. We have a door. We have several doors, which is sometimes called a portal. Um, right? It's also sometimes referred to as the gate, guarding the west gate, but we sometimes refer to the door as a portal. But I have many lodges I go to. I have a crazy number of lodges I go to. Um, well, then, Yucatan, you got to join the shrine, or wait for a parade and tackle a shriner and take his car. But don't tell anybody I told you to do that, because that'll get me in trouble. Spencer, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. I think you're new to the stream. I don't know if I recognize your name. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great day. So we're going to give it a bit more time. We're going to see who joins. I mean, I do too. Both feel bad for for kids suffering from cancer or any type of diseases like that. And also, I do really enjoy the commercials as well. Um, Welcome, Mr. Keeps on Ticking. Thank you for being here. I hope that you are doing well. Uh, I think the shrine is probably the most forward-facing aspect of the Masonic Lodge, to be honest, or Freemasonry. It's an independent body. But even people who don't like Freemasons tend to support the Shriners. We are starting to see larger ideas formulating that transcend regional boundaries. They surround global economics, digitization, centralization of power, no conspiracy needed. You're not wrong. The ability to transfer money digitally, digital currencies that is not tied to any particular political or government agency, that does alter the power dynamics. However, in my experience, I've never seen, at least, being someone involved in politics, involved in Freemasonry, I've never seen those global forces be strong enough to combat regional interests, at least in the long term, right? Like Macron still needs to keep the French people happy. He can't think about if he wants to stay in power, right? He can't think about the interests of the elite at the expense of what will work within France. There's no real magi within Masonic Lodge. I mean, there's brethren and there's different officers at different levels. I am not York right. That is true. And also, don't call me Lord Square. That seems strange. But no, I'm not York right. And if I can't remember now off the top of my head, in Scottish Rite, I mean, Babylon, Jerusalem do come up in the Scottish Rite degrees as well, but it's been a little while since I've done them. But obviously, Babylon to Jerusalem actually does come up in Scottish Rite. Um, degrees. And somebody mentioned above, and I can't find it now. Um, Spencer, got my second degree in a few weeks. Congratulations. Um, um, Congratulations, Spencer. You're gonna have a great second degree, I have no doubt. Enjoy it. The advice I would give to the advice that I do give to every entered apprentice, if they ask for my advice, as they're going to their second degree and then as they're going to their third degree, is don't rush it. Enjoy it. Take your time. Don't feel you need to go right to your third degree. A lot of people have this tendency to rush these degrees, try to get them done as soon as they can, without taking the time to know what the degree is trying to tell you, and the kind of value the degree is imparting. So take your time with it for whatever it's worth. Zain Abbasi says hello. I'll take Worship Master Square over Lord Square. And yes, no religion or no politics discussed in Lodge. We can, discuss it outside of Lodge. It happens very often. I discuss politics on this stream because it pops up. But within a Masonic Lodge, we do not discuss politics, nor do we discuss religion. Macron will simply placate something to half of them. Needs to do it with more than half in a democracy, right? Rumpelstiltskin. This is Freemasonry. I do not know what three Masonry is. There are 3 degrees in Craft Lodge, if that's to what you are referring. Yeah, Spencer. And what, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from? What part of the world are you? Where are you located? Then, yes, Rumpelstiltskin. I thought you were doing a play on the idea of Freemasonry as in like 3 Masonries in the 3 degrees. Yes, we are discussing Freemasonry. We should. I wish I knew more Freemasons who are actively engaged in stone masonry work, to be honest. I think it's a real shame we don't have them. More Masons don't know about stone masonry. I try to write about it and talk about it on Medium, which you should all follow me on Medium. Okay, my pops is the other end of the world from you in England. He's from Northern England. But welcome, Spencer. Thank you for being here. I don't think you're wrong, Super Dab. I'd love to see that myself. Well, Rumpelstiltskin, ask me any questions you want. By the way, I am going to say, that rhymed. One thing I really do believe is there's this great scary movie out there called Rumpelstiltskin. It was a made-for-TV movie that was really, supposedly really famous for being really good and really scary. I cannot find it anywhere. If anybody ever tracks it down on streaming, let me know. I'd appreciate it. There you go, Super Dab. But so Rumpelstiltskin, any questions you have, please let me know. And Rumpelstiltskin, please hit the like and subscribe button as well. I'd very much appreciate that also. Why is 33 important? Well, 33 references the 33rd degree in Freemasonry. It's an honorific degree that is, basically by invitation or bestowed upon a 32nd degree Mason. And so the number 33 tends to pop up. If somebody says they're a 33rd degree Mason, that can be a sign that they've contributed greatly to Freemasonry and to the craft. And then there's some symbolic understandings of it. If I recall correctly, Jesus was 33 years of age when he was crucified. Things like that add a certain level of kind of mysticism to it. Even though Freemasonry is not a Christian organization, it's not a religion. But when somebody says they're a 33rd, really it just means they got an honorific. It's kind of like getting a Mason of the Year award. It doesn't give them any more authority in a Blue Lodge, but it is a sign that they are kind of dedicated to the craft. It's more important to non-Masons than Masons, as Spirit says. I do not know what that means, Mr. Muscles. I think Trump is orange, which seems to be a makeup issue. I don't think he's Jewish. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not. I don't know. Mr. Muscles, welcome. Thank you for being here. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Um, well, Freemasonry is not really a group per se. It's groups. It's social clubs and fraternities and civic organizations, all which derive from stonemason guilds of Europe. They are all kind of um, recognize each other, but they're under different jurisdictions and different rules. For example, the groups of Masons in Ontario operate under a different set of rules than groups of Masons or lodges of Masons in Texas. However, there is recognition. But basically, it's not a group, it's groups, which are civic or fraternal or social in nature, all of which evolved from stonemason guilds in medieval Europe. Maybe. I've not heard that, Andrew, so I can't say. It doesn't sound right to me, but I could be wrong. I don't really pay enough attention to kind of the religious beliefs of the president. Well, Drosky, not everybody can see it. I was going to see if I can show this. Um, Drosky, by the way, Drosky, please like and subscribe, said the lodge in Oakland was mainly black and only social toward other blacks. So, Drosky, what you may be referring to is what's called Prince Hall Freemasonry. Prince Hall Freemasonry was formed as a Masonic body specifically for black men. The reason being, in America, oftentimes black men were excluded from Freemasonry in the 17th and 18th, and if we're going to be honest, the 19th centuries, not because Freemasonry was exclusive per se, rather because the racist attitudes of members, which is unfortunate. But as a consequence, a man by the name of Prince Hall created, with the help of England, Prince Hall Freemasonry to welcome black men who wanted to be part of a fraternity. At this point, there really is no difference. They're all recognized. I've sat in Prince Hall lodges. Prince Hall members have sat in my lodge, and they're welcome. But you may be talking about Prince Hall Freemasonry in particular. Um, I have no idea what that means, Mark Morrison. Please hit like and subscribe. Thank you, Zifa. Denzel Washington as a crazy handsome fella. Why are some sworn to secrecy? It's funny, Rumpelstiltskin. I'm starting to question if you've been on this stream before because, yes, I have used the example of a family recipe dozens of times. And that's exactly what I always consider it to be. It's like maintaining a family recipe. When you say some are sworn to secrecy, in theory, or actually all sworn to secrecy. Every time you become a Mason, one of the obligations you take is to maintain the secrets and the private nature of our rituals. Having said that, not everybody does, and so be it. There's nothing you can do about that. You just have to accept that it's possible and do your best to try to initiate people who you believe will maintain the privacy of the Masonic family recipe. That's right, Super Dab. Well, I appreciate that, brother Adam. I have to disagree with you though. When you say invaluable secrets, I mean, I wouldn't put it that way. The brotherhood is invaluable, right? The way it makes me feel when I find myself in a foreign country like the Philippines and I see a brother and the fact that him and I share common knowledge that is private from the outside world, there is an invaluable feeling that comes with that. But the idea that the secrets are inherently invaluable, like despite what National Treasure may say, we do not know the location of any buried treasure or anything like that, just to give you an idea. That said, right? Prince Hall Masons, yeah. At this point, I mean, it's Prince Hall Masonry is maintained as it should be for its historical relevance, historical importance to, I mean, the history of America as well as just black men in America. But again, you can be a Prince Hall Mason, and actually you can be a white Prince Hall Mason. You can also be black Freemason. Though Prince Hall Masonry is still predominantly African American or black. Well, I mean, I tend to be, when people ask me what are the secrets, I tend to focus much more on the modes of recognition as being the secrets and things I will not share. Other parts of the ritual, people have to, I have certain things. For example, I don't tell people what the G within the square and compasses means. Many people do. I don't tell people what the tools are necessarily, all through the degrees. I've heard people do, right? Everybody kind of decides for themselves. Yeah, and a spirit says, right? In 20, I've met many white Prince Hall Masons. So, um, but Prince Hall, again, very valuable part of the craft, valuable part of Freemasonry. I say you have to join to know. And they say, what if I can't join because I'm a woman? I say, well, then you can join the Order of Women Freemasons and learn it that way. It would not benefit the public. It would not benefit the public because the secrets do not, make anybody richer, make anybody more famous, make anybody healthier. We don't have some type of secret like fountain of youth hidden in our lodges. All it would do is limit the connection I have with my brothers or dilute the connection I have with my brothers because now everybody knows the secrets. Um, and so that's why I choose not to share it. And in a sense, that would actually harm the public because if Freemasonry is harmed, I believe the public is harmed also because I think the world is a better place when Freemasonry is strong and healthy. Um, For some people, it can be. I prefer to think of it more as a community help group. I think it helps the community more than the individuals, or at least I think the goal should be to help the community. But some will join as a way to kind of find help and support, especially in challenging times. Or they may join for a different reason, but find when they need help, they focus on attending the Masonic Lodge. Um, Well, there's not really. I mean, I don't know if they'd frown upon it. Obviously, they show an interest in it. I mean, look at the success of Dan Brown's works, right? Clearly, there's a level of interest within Freemasonry and our archaic rituals, and not necessarily frowned upon. BGF calls me an egghead. Yes, I am an egghead, but you should still hit the like and subscribe button, BGF, and thank you for being here. I hope that you are doing well. And by the way, Spirit, I hope that you're doing well. By the way, everybody watching this, um, because if they were not private, if they were not secret, it would affect the bonds of brotherhood, right? In the same way, if you have a family recipe, Andrew, you're not going to share it with people outside of your family, not because there's anything nefarious in the recipe, but rather because maintaining the recipe between family or within family maintains the bonds of brotherhood and maintains the bonds of family, right? We in Freemasonry, ultimately, what we pass down is our secrets, our modes of recognition. If I share them with everybody, it means less when I meet another brother. Because one of the ways that I feel special, and this is a matter of, in some ways, feeling special, I guess unique in terms of what I said, is when I'm traveling outside of even, I was in the Philippines recently. I met some Masons, despite the fact I never met them before, I did not know them, I had never been to the Philippines. I still connected with them in a really special way because we both had knowledge of the, if you will, the family recipe of Freemasonry. Yes, Spirit of Justice. And Spirit, make sure that you are on my email list and checking Patreon because I'm going to be talking about my Halloween plans very soon, which will relate to Halloween because I love Halloween, my favorite time of the year. Close second is Christmas. In some ways, Christmas is starting to win out a little bit, but I still much prefer Halloween. Not much. I still prefer Halloween. No, no. I mean, I've taken part in all, well, not all, I've taken part in many, many rituals. At no point did I ever feel unsafe or brutal or in danger. Um, to the extent that society seems to frown upon anything, it seems to frown upon more the private nature of it. There is rumors that Freemasons engage in hazing. As a general rule, we don't. I can't say every Masonic lodge doesn't, but no Masonic lodge should engage in hazing. And if they are, they're doing it wrong and should be called out for it, because I don't believe in hazing. Well, there are, Andrew. Privacy is one of many. Sometimes it can be through shared physical effort. So, for example, the army. Um, the army doesn't necessarily keep what happens in its basic training private. It doesn't have to, because the average person is not going to be going through that. And that means if two people who've been through basic training meet, even if they didn't know each other, they have a common bond of brotherhood based on the physical toll and the dedication to surpassing that, right? You can be part of a sports team. There are many ways to form bonds of brotherhood, but privacy is one of them. Well, I mean, ritual there's definitely a line. I mean, hazing is not okay. Masonic ritual is part of being a Mason. Um, like I said, so when I went through all of my Masonic rituals, at no point did I ever feel like it was hazing, right? Hazing is something different. Again, um, people, when they think of fraternities or social groups, they sometimes think of hazing and frown upon it, as they should. I would also frown upon hazing, is my point. But my point is, hazing and ritual are not the same thing. Um, well, we're not a cult, Rumpelstiltskin. We do have nice facades in some cases. In some, I mean, if you're talking about the actual buildings, I've seen some beautiful facades. I've also seen Masonic lodges, meeting in converted farmhouses. I mean, if you're interested in joining, I think that's awesome. To be one, ask one, right? What you need to do is find a Masonic lodge in your area that's affiliated with the Grand Lodge. Speak to them about your interest in joining, and thank you for being here. I will take that, Carlito, because Vanilla Silva is a tough son of a gun. Um, awesome, Drosky. I'd love to. I don't think I've ever seen it. Oakland, California, right? I've been to Los Angeles and I've been to San Francisco. Um, well, Carlito, that's very kind of you. I am not, but I do hope you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button. And thank you for being here. Same thing with you, Drosky. If you've not done so already, let me know how you guys are doing and if you have any questions about Freemasonry. I would love to make it back to California. It's been too long. Los Angeles is beautiful. No, no, that's kind of one of those myths that exist. I know many Freemasons who, did not know anybody and joined. You first need to just approach them. Now, eventually, if they give you an application, it needs to be sponsored by usually two Masons who kind of maybe have gotten to know you, but they don't need to know you to start the process. Same thing, Brother Adam. I would love to see the one in Washington, D.C. also. Andrew, Freemasonry is not. That's another thing that pops up on online a lot. I don't know why, but Freemasonry. We have Jewish members. We also have Muslim, Christian, Hindu. Freemasonry is not a quote unquote Jewish organization, as some conspiracies claim. Um, well, we've never done. I mean, I don't know any Freemasons who've had a blood offering or child sacrifice. I hope I never do. But certainly there are Freemasons who've committed crimes, who've done bad things. That's human nature, right? I'd like to think that if someone is true to Freemasonry, they would not do those things, of any sort, commit crimes at all. But Freemasons are humans, and some of them have done negative things. We are taught in Freemasonry, if we find out a brother has been committing crimes, we are to turn them into the authorities. We're not meant to keep secrets if they will bring disrepute to the craft or harm the community. Um, so you need to believe in a supreme being, Rumpelstiltskin. Now, the nature of that supreme being is up to the individual. If someone was like militantly atheistic and refused to believe in any possible supreme being of any sort, then it would be hard for them to join. But even for me, like I don't believe in a supreme being in the way many others would. I think I'd be considered an atheist in purely religious terms, but I do believe in a supreme being um, for Masonic purposes, if that makes sense. Cool, Carlito. I'm sure he was. It sounds like a good dude. I don't know how to fish myself, but many Masons do love fishing. In fairness, so um, nice. As I mean, that's the true Masonic secret. We don't like to share that with people because then they'll all bust down our doors. But Freemasons know the best fishing spots, so you just have to kind of accept that. I'll have to check him out, Spirit. I've never heard of him before. It's interesting, Rumpelstiltskin. You asked about Satanism. I've never met a Satanist who's a Mason. The closest I ever came was I was at my Masonic building one day and we got a phone call and I just answered the phone. It was somebody who said they wanted to join Freemasonry because they were a Satanist. And they believe that Freemasons worship Satan and they wanted to worship them as well, or him as well. I told him, well, we're not a religion. We don't worship anything in that sense. But I invited him to come out to a meeting with me. We grabbed a cup of coffee. We talked. And as I was talking to him, he decided he did not want to join Freemasonry because he felt that Satanism and Freemasonry were opposed to one another. So if he had decided he still wanted to join, I don't know what would have happened. I've never heard of anybody claim their supreme being as Satan. To my knowledge and understanding, Satanism places the supreme being as oneself, which I don't think would constitute a supreme being for Masonic purposes. But never had it come up. I don't think it would work. I don't think that they would join. Um, that is true. We not exclusively. We use many things, but Solomon's Temple is definitely a part of Freemasonry. There's no question at all about that. Um, yes, Assassin's Creed Part 3, Cowboy Baby Yoda. Um, I've heard of some Luciferian Freemasons, but not met any. Machiavelli Gabrielli. What makes you think I am a fraud, Machiavelli? Powerpuff. That's pretty harsh, but all right. At what point is a coincidence meaningless? Almost always. I mean, I understand, it can be to dismiss everything as a coincidence can play into the hands of nefarious sorts. I tend to be much more willing to accept the idea of a coincidence before I turn to the idea of conspiracy or plan. My experience, people are, usually far too, um, I don't know what the word is, far too self-interested and also incapable of maintaining kind of secrecy to actually engage in conspiracy. Um, that is true, Felix. That is true. Felix, welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, well, then there you go. How's it going, Powerpuff? I hope you're not too high to hit like and subscribe. And if you've already hit like and subscribe, thank you for being here. Welcome back 2 times. I wish you'd hit the like and subscribe button 2 times. I hope everybody's enjoying the stream and getting a lot of answers to their questions. I'm going to talk about our friend, your friend and mine, HRH, the Duke of Kent, in a couple of moments. But I just want to give people a chance to, like I said, jump on stream and say hello. There you go, Powerpuff. I always say it to everybody just because I never remember who is and isn't, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. How is it going? We do not, Rumpelstiltskin. We do not. At least I've never seen that. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope everybody's doing well. What is new and exciting for everybody? And like I said, we'll give it another, let's say 5 minutes, and I'm going to start talking about United Grand Lodge of England and its Grand Master. I hope nobody minds the sound coming from my window. Looks like we got some work. Oh, Raw Mac. Who is Manly P. Hall? Well, so Albert Pike was a Freemason for sure. Manly P. Hall, there's debate about it. I think it was clandestine, to be honest. I don't think he was part of a legitimate lodge until much later in his career. But I mean, for our purposes, we can say he was a Freemason. The Grand Master of England is His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent. Who is actually the 10th longest serving Grand Master, Prince Edward. No, LeVay was not. If I recall correctly, LeVay was the gentleman who had the scam, I think. Let me double check that actually. He was the was he was the Leo Taxel guy, right? Oh, he was the Satanist. He was the Satanic Bible fella. No. To my knowledge, he was not. I could be wrong. Anything's possible, but I don't believe he ever was. Yeah. He was not a Freemason. I don't know. I think he might have been. Let me double check. He was. He was a member of Emulation Lodge number 21. So I thought he might have been. Exactly, right? Exactly. People obsess over it because it's so exclusive. Even Freemasons, some have a tendency to obsess over it a little bit because it's kind of considered so exclusive. It's the highest degree in major quotations. Unfortunately, though, when other people have a tendency to obsess about it. When we in Freemasonry obsess about it, the danger is people outside of Freemasonry will obsess about it as well. So, well, you can have both a subscription and a prescription. Both is perfectly fine with me. But as long as you're subscribed to my podcast and my channel, that is what I most appreciate. Also, I hope that you guys will consider subscribing to my email list. It is info@squareandcompass.ca. I hope you guys will check that out, and you can learn a lot more about Freemasonry, about my channel, because I send out email blasts usually a couple times a month to maybe once a month, and follow me on social media. I have a lot of very exciting things coming up, and I can't wait to share them with everybody. So I hope you guys will make sure to keep checking that out. We're going to give it another. Well, I guess I'll start talking about it now, actually. Oh, if it's, I don't know what Labubu is, Rumpelstiltskin. I never heard that word before, but actually, I've heard that word. I just don't know what it is. I keep hearing it on social media, but I've never actually. Um, I don't know what a Labubu is. I feel like it's probably something negative. I want you to stand. Well, I mean, I cannot stand anywhere. I have no legs, so I'm very sorry, Yucatan. Um, it's a silly doll. Actually, one idea I had for years and years was that we in Freemasonry should create Masonic teddy bears. There's some that already exist, but actual Masonic teddy bears with like a apron, a collar, and like a symbol on it that represent different offices. So let's talk about the United Grand Lodge of England. The United Grand Lodge of England is led by the Grand Master, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, Prince Edward, who was elected more than 50 years ago and is now United Grand Lodge of England's longest serving Grand Master. I'll explain. Let's talk about this fella here. The Duke of Kent was born in 1935, educated at Eton and La Rosey, Switzerland. Queen Elizabeth II and Duke of Kent were first cousins through their fathers, King George VI and Prince George, Duke of Kent. His father, who was Grand Master from 1939 until 1942, was the fourth son of King George V. His mother, Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark, was also a first cousin of the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, making him both the second cousin and first cousin once removed to King Charles III. He is currently 40th in the line of succession to the throne. The Duke of Kent was initiated as a Freemason in Royal Alpha Lodge number 16 in London on 16th of December 1963. He completed his second degree on January 30th, 1964, and his third degree on June 5th of 1964. He served as Master of the Lodge in 1965. His Royal Highness was appointed Senior Grand Warden by the United Grand Lodge of England in 1966, and he was promoted to Grand Master in 1967 during the United Grand Lodge of England's 250th anniversary celebrations at Royal Albert Hall. He has been re-elected every year since and is now UGLE's longest-serving Grand Master. As the Grand Master is a member of the royal family, he may appoint a pro-Grand Master to be his principal and advisor and to act for him on occasions when, due to royal engagements, he is unable to be present. So happy birthday to His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, the longest-serving United Grand Lodge of England Grand Master, celebrating 50 over 50 years, right? I can do the math in my head. 77, 87, 97, 2007, celebrating over 50 years as the Grand Master and celebrating his 90th birthday. One thing people need to remember when I talk about this, right, is we in Freemasonry, we are jurisdictional. So even though I am giving, and I'm happy to give a happy birthday to His Royal Highness, he is not the Grand Master to which I am subject. I am subject to the Grand Master in Ontario, but we appreciate all of our Grand Masters around the world in whatever jurisdiction they are, in the same way one Prime Minister will give greetings and congratulations to another Prime Minister of another country or state, whatever it might be. Stephanie Nivens, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. And thank you again for joining. Let me know how your day is going, if there's anything you want to talk about. And what would be kind of interesting, one thing that would be fun is if all the different lodges, especially in England, but even around the world, were to send birthday letters to the Grand Master on his 90th birthday. Fun things like that, right? We should, Freemasons should not be afraid to try different things, to try new things. Birthday campaigns, congratulations notes, celebrating the successes and the milestones of Masonic jurisdictions outside of our own, I think is something we are not doing nearly enough of. So I'm going to end this stream in probably another 15 minutes. I want to thank everybody for joining. And please, 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 to everybody watching this, get in touch with me, info@squareandcompass.ca. There are a lot of really exciting things coming up. And, I want to make sure I can share them with people. A big way to do that is through my email blasts. Firkin, Christmas tree. Hello, Firkin. Hey to yourself. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. And thank you for being here. It's funny, again, 1 a.m. streams are doing, excuse me, a lot better than the 1 p.m. streams. I'm not sure why. I'm from Canada. Firkin, I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button, by the way. But I am from Canada, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Well, born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, but have lived in Windsor for the last 20 years, which is crazy to think. 19 years anyways, which is absolutely crazy to think it's been that long. Depends where you live. In the States, as a general rule, it's 18. In Canada, it's usually 21. But it just depends what jurisdiction you're in. So 18 to 21 tends to be the age ranges. My personal opinion, and this is my personal view, it should be whatever age you can drink legally in a country, because that way you can help ensure that our Grand Lodges will be able to have events, banquets, celebrations, all of which may include alcohol service, and therefore, they can take part. But that's just my humble opinion. Well, because part of being a Mason is you have to pay dues. You have to pay, you have to pay your dues. We can't really be charging youth for that. We'd be charging their parents. Also, there's obligations, right? Adults can take obligations. When you're younger, you can't really, it's not really binding. But there are Masonic youth groups. There's the Order of Rainbow, which is for young women under the age of 21, if I recall correctly. There's also DMLA, which is for young men under the age of 21. So there are Masonic youth groups. They are associated with Freemasonry, part of the Masonic family, and they are a wonderful part of what it means to be a Freemason. So, I think we in Freemasonry need to maybe be more willing to support our Masonic youth groups, to be honest. Freemasonry is not about becoming powerful. So if your goal is to join Freemasonry to become powerful, you are going to be really disappointed, because that is not our purpose. That's not our goal, nor should it be, for that matter. Well, I have to double check the definition of creed. To be honest, when I think of creed, what I think of is religious. When I looked up creed, the band came up, right? A system of religious belief. And Freemasonry is not a religion, nor is it really even a system of belief, religion or otherwise. There are philosophies within Freemasonry, but there are also philosophies within a football team, for example, right? Like what I always say is, I use this example a million times. If you are a football player, you will likely have certain philosophical beliefs because you're a football player. You'll believe in teamwork. You'll believe in physical fitness. You'll believe in practice. You'll believe in sacrifice and dedication. But you wouldn't say it's a football player's creed. It's more just the philosophical beliefs that encourage them to be a football player. Freemasonry is the same way, right? If you're a Freemason and you're active, you're likely going to believe in concepts like brotherhood. Um, you're likely going to believe in the importance of tradition, of historical engagement. But those aren't the same thing as a creed, if that makes sense, Seth. Sometimes you have to believe before you see the results, Swastik. Sometimes you have to believe before you see the results. I think, unfortunately, sometimes we forget about that and we want to see the results without belief. Sometimes, if you don't have belief, even when you see the results, you don't believe them. Isn't that quite the contradiction? It's fine. I was born this way, so I don't know what it's like in any other way, right? I don't know what it's like to have legs, so it's hard for me to say. But I mean, being born in I was born in 1983, being alive in 2025. I mean, it's very like what's the word I would say? You know, if I'd been born in the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries, I think it'd be very different. I was very lucky, right, to be born when I was at a time when society was much more welcoming of disabilities and had taken a lot of steps to um, make the world and make society, welcoming for people with disabilities, ramps, elevators, wheelchairs, doctor's appointment, all the things that I need to live a healthy life. I get that because I'm alive today. So I don't know. It's been wonderful. It's been no issues at all. If I could go back in time and be born with legs, I would probably still choose to be born without legs if I could make that choice because I like who I am without legs. Exactly, Rumpelstiltskin. Well, I'm sorry your back is always hurting you, Catan. Um, do stretches, I guess. Talk to your doctor. Once again, Rumpelstiltskin. If anybody comes across, this is a completely separate note, the scary movie called Rumpelstiltskin, please let me know because I really want to watch it. Everybody says it's awesome. It was a made-for-TV movie, and I've never actually seen it, but it's on my list of things I really want to watch. I don't know what you mean by that, Seth, James. I mean, I don't know if we ever really discussed it. I think Freemasonry can be helpful for people suffering from mental illness, not in place of a doctor, but community support and social support and brotherhood can always be helpful. Having said that, um, I don't know. There's 850,000 Freemasons in the States. You'd have to ask all 850,000 of them, I suppose, and you'll probably get a slightly different answer. I can speak for myself. I think those who suffer from mental illness deserve a lot of credit for trying for existing with challenges and for working hard to overcome them. I think it's important that if you have mental illness, you speak to a doctor and a support system. And I also believe that brotherhood and friendship and community can help alleviate the effects of both mental and physical illnesses. I love the movie Halloween. Um, Sorry, Halloween. I love the movie Leprechaun, Yucatan. Leprechaun is an awesome movie. I love all the Leprechaun movies. Actually, I just love scary movies in general. When people ask me what my favorite, like what the best movie, what the best scary movie is to start with, if you've never seen scary movies before or never liked them, I always recommend either the original Leprechaun starring Jennifer Aniston, or I recommend Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Because they're fun, they're enjoyable, they're scary in a roller coaster ride sense, not like psychologically disturbing. I love those movies. So I love Leprechaun. My favorite actually is Leprechaun Part 3, Leprechaun in Las Vegas. But they're all great. I like Halloween Part 3, Season of the Witch. I love the Halloween franchise altogether. I've actually always had an idea for a movie which combined all the different timelines. I enjoyed it. I appreciated them trying something different. I think they were right to go back to Michael Myers in the fourth Halloween. I think that was fair. But I appreciated them trying something new. And the fact that it's still there and still part of the franchise means they can always choose to revisit it and keep the Halloween franchise going by revisiting the Shamrock storyline. Now that Michael Myers is quote unquote dead. Not really, but you know. Seth James, I'm trying to make this my job, and I'm going to have a few more ways to earn some income through this soon. Because I think Freemasonry, to survive, it needs to find a way to have a professional component to it. If you want to help me out, Seth, you can join my Patreon. .com/square and compass. You can actually join for free. You don't need to spend any money to join my Patreon, or you can join at $3 a month, whatever it is, and you can get one of these fancy commemorative postcards, amongst some other things. You're not wrong, Rumpelstiltskin, about the lack of connection. I like Chucky a lot. For me, the best Child's Play movie is the second Child's Play, Child's Play Part 2. I also really love Chucky because it takes place in Chicago, and I adore Chicago. Greatest city in the world. That's what I tell the ladies anyways, Yucatan. Yeah, but I think it's like if you walk a lot, you get strong legs. I wheel a lot, so I do think I get pretty decent arms, I suppose. Nothing crazy fancy, but I was also in professional wrestling for a while, and so all the push-ups helped with that as well, quite a bit. But I do always say one thing we as Freemasons have is a responsibility to take care of ourselves physically. The healthier we are. Yes, Candyman is also in Chicago, Cabrini Greens. I want to go there one day just to see the location. I've been to Chicago. It's got to be close to 100 times at this point, like dozens and dozens of times. Never really made it to Cabrini Greens, so it's on the list. Power of Prayer. Freemasonry is a civic organization or a social group that derived from stonemason guilds of the Middle Ages. Welcome, Power of Prayer. Thank you for being here. For me, it's John Cena. Dusty Rhodes is great. Actually, this tattoo, which says the next one, is in honor of John Cena. Because when anybody would ask him his favorite wrestling moment or favorite match, he would always say the next one. And I really loved that. I thought it was a great answer. And so when people ask me my favorite Masonic moment or my favorite Masonic memory, I always say the next one. Whenever I read the word Cena, I always hear trumpets. Yes, I have a big nose. Jaffred. I've grown to accept it. There's nothing I can do about it. Why can't you be nice to me and say I have nice looking eyes? Why you got to make fun of my nose? Please hit like and subscribe. Well, Freemasonry is about rock or stone. By the way, Power of Prayer, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Same thing, Yafrid. I know I have a big nose, but that doesn't stop you from hitting like and subscribe. Oh, Cena's incredible. He is absolutely a class act. Um, so I agree with that 100%. I think his work ethic is something we, in many different areas, including Freemasonry, can and should, um, you know, desire or should aim for. Thank you, Power of Prayer. I really do appreciate that. And we're going to give it, let's say, another 5 minutes or so. Good ways to live one's life. I agree. Hustle, loyalty, and respect. It seems like it. And he was one of the greats. I remember as a kid being terrified of him. Because it's, he debuted out of been 8 years old. He was just an incredible, he was one of the all-time great Vince McMahon characters. And there was a perfect melding of like the perfect wrestler with the perfect character idea, the perfect gimmick. My favorite wrestler is John Cena. He goes John Cena, Bret Hart. After that, so hard. Stone Cold, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. Um, yeah, but he was doing his job, Yucatan, right? He was doing his job to scare us. That was his job, and he did it very well. Oh, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s wrestling. I think anybody who was born around the same time as me, 1983, has um, really fond memories of that time. I think he's the least favorite wrestler of a lot of people you could have, and for good reason. That's a great screensaver, Power of Prayer. That's a very great screensaver. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end this stream. Thank you all for being here. I will be back on at 1 a.m. tomorrow, technically. I do those Mondays through Thursdays. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of England. Congratulations to him once again on his birthday. Thank you, Yucatan. Love you guys as well. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me, info@scoreandcompass.ca. Follow me on Patreon. Help me make this thing a profession. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.